Welcome back to the top six. A bid for Frenkie de Jong from Chelsea Football Club is being touted about Europe. The hijack is reportedly on, with Chelsea looking to throw everything at signing him and taking him away from Manchester United. It is also said that Ronaldo to Chelsea is now a very serious possibility. Pedro, that broke this on Sky Sports, was the guy who originally broke the Darwin Núñez to Liverpool news, so has some credibility in that region of the world. And a big report from the continent this afternoon that Lisandro Martinez to Man United will be completed in the coming hours. We'll, of course, delve into these rumours. We're going to talk about the fallout, the knock-on effect, the butterfly effects of these potential deals, plus, of course, chat about what's going on in the football world. Look at the panel we've got tonight. Backed by popular demand, big Man United fan, Amina is here with us. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to see the De Jong transfer get done. I want to see the Ronaldo saga come to an end, and I want to see Maguire come out and apologize for liking that Instagram post.
I hear you on that, and I'm sure all of the Maguire situation will definitely come up today as well. We've got Igal in the house ready to rep Arsenal today. You good, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm just trying to figure out who the mystery signing is that Arsenal might be going after.
Huh? Oh, that old chestnut to keep the fans interested. We've got Roy the Boy. Roy the Boy is in the house. Obviously, Chelsea, some big deals on the horizon for you. Very excited about that.
I'm super excited. Like, finally, our transfer window is getting up and running, because I was starving with the lack of news and seeing everyone else make moves. So it's good. It's good to see the ball rolling.
It absolutely is. Colleen's with us, another gooner in the house today. Arsenal missing out on Rafinha. The Lisandro Martinez deal coming to a head. Yuri Tielemans, we're going to delve into all of it. And you feeling optimistic still?
I'm still feeling optimistic. And to be honest with you, all this kind of United Chelsea news is just bringing my spirits up, to be honest with you. I don't even care anymore if we miss out. I just want to see Ronnie in a Chelsea shirt.
And we'll certainly touch on that. Now, of course, we've also got a brand new person on the show tonight. He has dropped the alter ego of Has Hope. We have, and he's put his real hair on. Sebastian from West London is in the house tonight. How are you, Sebastian?
Sebi.
My name is Half Hope. Because first of all, my name isn't Sebastian. My name is Half Hope, and I want to see some of you low-life clowns make these hairline jokes to me right now. So there you go.
Mate, your transplant, the hair grew back very quickly, very quickly. Looks very, very good. Very, very good. Viewers, there's a little prize for you tonight. If we hit 2,200 likes on this show, I will give 40 free memberships out to you live on the air. That's 40 free memberships. So make sure you're all smashing the like button and you're subscribing to the Football Terrace. I think there's one place to start tonight, though. The big breaking news. We're going to touch on De Jong a little later. We're going to touch on Martinez a little later, Tielemans and a few other things. But we have to start with Cristiano Ronaldo to Chelsea Football Club. The greatest goal scorer of all time, the greatest Premier League player of all time, Man United legend, could be about to make a £15 million move to Stamford Bridge. Have hope. Give me your thoughts on that potential deal.
Harry, he's not the greatest Premier League player of all time.
Igal, your name isn't a Half Hope. Igal, I have the mic now, please. Thank you, Igal.
No, you go speak, but I just want to clarify that.
This deal is not happening, man. I think that a lot of stuff gets said on Twitter. Like, I can say that aliens are invading on Twitter, and people are like, oh, jeez, man, aliens are going to invade on Twitter, blah, blah, blah. Anybody can type anything. It doesn't mean it's true. First of all, I don't see Man United selling Cristiano to, like, another rival. Second of all, I love Cristiano. He's my idol. He's my goat. I appreciate him. I love his perfume brand and everything. He's a geriatric. And Chelsea do not have a place for a 38-year-old geriatric in our team. Getting Cristiano, that is a move towards backwards. We're trying to move into the future. That's why we're trying to get the ski. We're trying to get the ooze. And we're trying to get the ra, hopefully. Cristiano is not on that table. And my thing is, even if he was called, let's just say in an alternative Doctor Strange universe, Homeboy was supposed to come. Who's going to create for him? Mount? That clown Timo Werner? Pulisic? We don't have any playmakers on that team. And Cristiano has shown that he ain't 25 years old anymore. The guy can't dribble, he can't move his legs, he can't run. So you have to create for him. If we have no freaking creators, then what the hell is the point in getting this dude on the team? And also, see, this is my fear. Look, Todd B is my guy. I love Todd B and so forth. But my fear is that Todd B is viewing this in a very red, white, and blue kind of a way. Of like, oh, he's going to bring in the Instagram followers, the fashion brands. He's going to make Chelsea sexy again. I'm going to speak to Todd B tomorrow. I've got a conference with Todd B tomorrow morning. I say, yo, Todd, look, relax, bro. This isn't the guy that we should be getting. We have to be getting someone that helps this team towards the future. Cristiano is of the past. This is my thing. Nick's relax. Next, no. I like for me. Like I don't hate Cristiano. I don't hate Cristiano and so forth. He's not right for Chelsea, and I don't want to be put in that conflicted position of him now in a Chelsea uniform. Again, it's not a guy that I hate, but look, my beef with Cristiano is this. It's very simple. When I type Ronaldo in Google or Bing, I want to see the real Ronaldo come up. And whenever I see Cristiano come up, it pisses me off. So I'm angry with him based on R9. Apart from that, he's cool. He is a geriatric. He is a poach merchant. He is Penaldo and so forth. But Chelsea gets him. That's a bad signing. That's not a bad signing. So, and look, I can guarantee this right now. I can almost, if I had any money to bet, I'd bet. I can guarantee this right now. Cristiano is in touch in Stamford Bridge. In touch in Stamford Bridge, bro. So,
Mina, you're a Man United fan. Of course, there'll be a deep love and respect for Cristiano Ronaldo. How would you feel about him going to Chelsea for £15 million?
I think if he goes anywhere, it's not a Premier League rival. I know people might say Chelsea are not directly United's rivals. Liverpool are directly our rivals. Noisy neighbours of recent might become our rivals. But Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, I wouldn't want to see him at any of the other top 5 teams. And I'm speaking realistically, because if he does go, it leaves United in a predicament where we brought him in last summer unexpectedly. I didn't expect it. I don't think a lot of United fans expected it. And we weren't really planning to reinvest any money this summer into a striker. And if he leaves, then it leaves us in 2 predicaments. It leaves us in a predicament where, are we going to replace him with a striker? And if so, who? The number 9 market out there is not as great as what used to be in the past. And if not, are we going to put our trust in Rashford and Martial? So we definitely need to find a replacement, because at the end of the day, if Ronaldo does leave, and obviously he's made it evident, it's for the best. It's the best for him, and it's the best for the club. But it's also showing a lot of failures that's happening at the club right now. So I think this whole Ronaldo saga is a lot more bigger than CR7 leaving the club. There's a lot more around it. And if he goes to Chelsea, I don't think I'd be that forgiving.
Gal, is it failings at the club right now, or is it legacy issues that are still yet to be resolved with the new team? How do you see this with a player of his stature wanting to leave?
I think this is because of the lack of harmony in the dressing room, and just similar to, obviously I'm not going based off of just the Instagram post that Harry Maguire did, but it just seems like there's so much misharmony in the dressing room. It might not be a fun environment to work in. And a player of his age, of his stature, obviously he's going to look at his legacy and everything else. But first and foremost, he's going to want to be somewhere where he's actually comfortable, happy, and feels respected. And if he's one of the greatest players of all time, and he has people who are absolutely nobodies in the game belittling him or being his captain or something else like that, and he's looking at them and he's looking around in the dressing room saying to himself, I don't respect these players, he's going to want to leave. That's just the reality. And I don't think it's only because of the Manchester United thing. I think it's more about the relationship part. And I've been speaking about relationships this whole season. But I don't think anyone in that dressing room besides Bruno has his undivided respect. Maybe Varane also. But
I don't think Bruno has Ronaldo's respect. And you see it in the Portuguese team. I think they play well together. They're harmonized because they play in the national team together. But respect, I think, is quite pushing it. One person that we knew that he had his Ronaldo's respect was Pogba, because Ronaldo came out in an interview and said that he wished he had played with Pogba at Real Madrid, because it would have been a player of that stature that he would have liked to see. Again, whether that would have been realistically, if it would have worked out with Ozil, Modric, Kroos, that's a different story. But I don't think there's anybody currently in the United dressing room that Ronaldo probably gets along with in terms of football mentality.
No, I disagree. I would say Bruno. I'd argue Bruno. I think the Portuguese people, I think have his respect. The guys who maybe not Portuguese, but I'd be very surprised if Dalot and Bruno don't have it, because he's Portuguese and what he means for Portugal. And if you're based on what he's done for Portugal, how he's put Portugal on the map, based on what he's done and so forth, it would be very hard for a Portuguese guy to be like, oh no, I don't like this guy and so forth, when you know what he's about and what he's done for Portugal as well. And also for Bruno, mate, who the hell are you? You're a freaking sideshow chick and brick. So you're in no place to even be disrespecting Cristiano. So
Do you know what I would say to it is this, right? I get everyone's points. I think this isn't about the transfer window so far. Of course, there'll be people in the dressing room that he has clashed with. That's normal. I think it's because he wants to be kicking the ball in the Champions League. He does not want Messi having a season in the Champions League where he isn't there, scoring goals and catching his record. That is more about this than anything else. And the reason I say that is because Man United's greatest ever Premier League team, the treble winners, Andy Cole and Teddy Sheringham despise one another. Fought, argued all the time, but the team was winning. What's going on in Man United's dressing room in terms of players falling out with each other happens in the best dressing rooms. There'll be Liverpool players that don't get on. There'll be City players that fight and argue. But it's only ever highlighted when a team's failing. But when you listen to pros speak, and this is where ex-pros do make a lot of sense, when they sit there and talk on radio or TV about these issues, they're like, it's normal. I remember when Mario Balotelli, do you remember we had the fight in training and it was big headline news on Sky Sports? And then all the pros are like, it happened in training at least once a week. But the media tried to make a big thing about it because it was Mario Balotelli, like he was some problem that nobody else has. I get where you're coming from about the respect thing, but I just think this is, if we're in the Champions League, I don't really think this would be too much of an issue. I think he'd stay. I think he'd play. I just think he wants to be kicking the ball. He wants to score those Champions League goals. He does not want, I don't think he's going to leave a Champions League side if he can help it until Messi does. And as soon as if Messi went to America this summer, Ronaldo would go to America as well. He'd be like, right, I can leave now. I don't have to keep scoring these goals. I do think that's a big motivation for him.
Oh, no, but and I think this is what I even said. I said the moment that United didn't get top, I said there is no chance in hell Cristiano Ronaldo is going to sniff Europa League. No way in hell. Like I said, I do not see this guy playing in the Europa League because he knows he's 37. He's got a few years going. And he knows that, as you just said, Terry, he wants to maintain that record. Like, as I've said this before, Cristiano will not voluntarily retire. Injury will retire this freaking dude. If he has to freeze himself till 2026 for the next World Cup, he'll do it. Like this guy's a psycho, man. The guy's a weird guy, man. So.
What's your take on it, Roy? I mean, you're obviously a Chelsea fan. You could be signing him. Is it the right move for Chelsea, or do you think actually it comes with too much baggage? There's too much power there with Ronaldo. He's obviously a powerful man in football. He's forcing his way out of Man United. Is it the right thing for Chelsea to do right now?
Okay, Terry, it came to my attention that I was a bit too diplomatic on my stance on this yesterday. So I'm just going to make it a tiny bit clearer. I said when you first kicked off the show, we're getting the ball going in the right direction. Ronaldo is taking that ball, which is moving in the right direction, and punting it 1,000 yards west because he's not the player we need. And like I said yesterday, I hear the pros, but I'm sorry, Ronaldo is a player that you get to finish the job of the team you're building. You don't get Ronaldo when you need about 5 other pieces. Ronaldo's the guy where, okay, it's a bit like City. City had everything, they just needed a striker. That's why they were interested in him. We need to get centre-backs. We probably need a midfielder. We need wing-backs. We need wingers. So why add Ronaldo on top of that when he needs such a specific setup, which has chemistry, which creates a lot of chances, which is already thriving, just for him to be added on top of? Why would you add Ronaldo to a team where we don't know who our starting centre-backs are? If our wing-backs get injured, we're finished, especially because Azpin Alonso are off to Barcelona, like in the next week or so. So whilst I respect him very highly as a player, and I see all the pros and cons, this isn't a smart move. And with our recent history with attackers, I know that it won't end well for us. It will be the same case of Lukaku, where he's not in an environment which suits him, and he'll get 7 goals, maybe 2 assists, maybe a couple of penalties, and everyone's going to be shitting on us saying, oh, Chelsea have ruined another attacker, when realistically, any attacker not in the environment which is ideal for him is going to stink up the joint.
No. See, this is why I disagree, though. He will score. He will score. Like, I think Cristiano is one of these guys where you put him in any system, he'll find a way to score. He may not score 18. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't hit double figures. But the issue is, even if he scores 12, 13, 14, it won't lead to more wins. It will still screw us up. So,
like, even like he scored 18 goals for United last season, and he dropped down the table. And that just shows that if you put Ronaldo in a team where it's not complete, it doesn't take them upwards. And our team isn't complete as much as I would like it to be. So adding Ronaldo, how is that going to take us closer to City and Liverpool, which are ultimately the benchmark? I don't see it.
So let me take, and this is it's a great point you've raised there. So I'll ask Colleen this question. So a lot of Chelsea fans have echoed this sentiment. We don't kind of want him. He isn't the player he was. It's not what we need. He'll kind of damage us. So if this deal goes through, who deserves to be bantered? Man United for losing a player that ruins teams at his age, or Chelsea for signing him? Because if Chelsea fans are right and they don't want him, surely it's just, United fans should be happy. Or not? Like, where does it sit? Or are both in the mud? Like, what's your take as a rival looking at this?
It's like short-term United are in the mud, long-term Chelsea. I mean, I think you're right in terms of Cristiano. What he'll bring is the Cristiano factor. He'll dig you out of a few holes when times get tough. He'll score a few great goals, especially in the Champions League. But in the long term, as we've seen with United, it's not that Cristiano is not quality. He's still one of the best in the world. It's just that they have so much that you need to accommodate to him. Where Chelsea are right now with everything going on in the other key areas that they need, he should not be the player they bring in to build around him, especially when he'll probably go in a year. And we saw that at United. He was scoring a lot of goals at United, but it's that kind of double-edged sword. Like, is that the way you want to go? Because we saw overall United had to change their game to accommodate Ronaldo. However, from a fan point of view, get him in a Chelsea shirt. I want to see that now. Get him in that Chelsea shirt.
I don't think going to Chelsea guarantees him any success. So for Ronaldo, if he wants success, he probably should go, as Muna said, to maybe Bayern or somebody outside of Europe. Because if he goes to Chelsea,
Bayern going to take the guy.
If he goes to Chelsea, he's not winning. He's not winning the league. He's not winning the Champions League. He's going to be in the competition.
I disagree about the champs. He could win it.
You think you could win the Champions League?
If we get our players, 100%, we can.
They only won it like a year or so ago, bro. Come on, of course they could win it again.
I said, if we replace the players,
it is possible.
If we replace the players we lost, I've already said it. We've got the best cup manager in the world. If we replace the players we've lost, we're contenders.
Players you're losing. That's a massive if. Massive if.
I know. Yeah, it's a big if. It's a big if. I'm saying if that does happen, I hope it does.
Everything is perfect.
Everything
is perfect. Chelsea will win the Champions League. That's what you're saying.
The question is, Gal, for you, why could Chelsea not win the Champions League? I mean, I guarantee you didn't predict Real Madrid winning it at the beginning of last season, did you?
No, because there was a 4% odds of them winning it.
So why can't Chelsea win it based on Real Madrid having a 4% chance?
No, I just think the odds of them winning it are not as high.
And then the odds are slim. But
we can. But there is a real possibility.
It's 100% possible.
Yeah, of course, it's very possible.
Like I've always said, if we get the players we want, I expect us to get at least to the semi-finals, if not the final.
Yeah, listen, I think it's interesting. Breaking news about Ronaldo, by the way. It's just out from Samuel Luckhurst. Very connected. Just one sec, guys. He says here, Cristiano Ronaldo will not travel with the Man United squad to Bangkok on Friday for the start of the preseason tour. The clubs say Ronaldo has been granted additional time off to deal with a family issue. Now, the family issue is probably them looking for a new house, wherever it is they're going to go.
Actually, sorry, real quick, though.
Go on.
The whole family thing, is that real or fugazi?
Look, I look at it this way. I'm not going to condemn it in case if I don't want to be the guy on YouTube, the guy he's faking, there's no family issue, and then tomorrow morning it's announced that a close uncle or a brother or God forbid his mother passes away. I don't want to be the idiot that says it's fake and then something happens. But it does give me Di Maria vibes, as in all these other reasons why he can't be on pre-season, and it will lead to him going. When you couple in the fact that they're saying now that Man United have accepted that he's going to go as long as the right price is made. I think Man United to sell him, and I think to the point you guys were making, I don't really want to see him at Chelsea. But the more I think about it, I sit there and I'm talking purely from a fan point of view. And the guy said in the comments that Terry just doesn't want to be bantered. Listen, I get bantered every day. The Terrace gets on average around 150,000 views a day. So I get a lot of banter every day. I'm pretty used to it. But what I find interesting is seeing people banter both clubs at the same time. And I'm like, well, what is it? You know, like when Pogba left, how you know Pogba was a good player was everybody bantered us for him leaving. No one would banter us if Scott McTominay left. So it's either you're losing an asset or you're not. And I'm really confused by which it is. So I look at it this way. I think it'll be good for Man United in the medium to long term if Ronaldo leaves this summer, as long as the money's reinvested. That's all I really care about. And I look at
how are they going to reinvest 20 million?
Yeah, I would say it's not really much to reinvest.
And if they do reinvest it, who do you think they'll reinvest it in? Because now it's left us in a position where we need a forward.
Well, you don't. It's not 20 million pound because transfers don't work like that. If you raise, say, 15 million through selling him, and you save his wages 26 million pound, you can buy a 60 to 75 million pound player on about 250,000 pound a week for that money. Because when you buy a player, whatever the transfer fee is, that 60 million pound is amortized and paid in installments over a 5-year period. So, like Frenkie de Jong, if we buy him, year one's costing around 11.5, 12 million pounds.
Yeah, it won't hit their books in that financial year. I understand that, but
Yeah.
who would we sign? That's my question.
That's
who
a
would
big
we go
question,
for?
and it really depends. So I think obviously we're looking at. There's been some talks with Dybala as an example. Now he wouldn't cost anything because he's free. I think you go out there into the market and you see who's available, even in number 9 roles or in what's been discussed a lot around these more fluid forwards. João Felix would be an option I'd want us to go for. I think there's zero chance with us not being in the Champions League of being able to sign him. But my point would be more, if we can't find an adequate replacement now, I'd rather put that money into someone like Anthony that wants to join and then wait until January or wait until next year and not panic. One of the things Leah has said a lot.
What do you do in the meantime, Terry? Because you've got a Ronaldo-sized hole in your team.
Yeah, but you plug the hole because
with
we're
what
not
though?
like,
if you want to get a wide forward who plays on the right,
it doesn't matter. We've got Martial still at the club. Rashford is still there. You plug the hole. You play a false line. You do something. And the reason I say that is this: your two teams on the stream, Chelsea and Arsenal, are not at the beginning of rebuilds. Chelsea are like, if we get the right players, we can challenge. Arsenal are literally going into their 3rd full year with Arteta, 3.5 years in. There's no more talk of rebuilds. We're starting fresh. We're just seeing the way these guys are training the Ten Hag system. They can't get it right yet. They're a week in. This is brand new. There should be no pressure on having every problem at the club sorted in one summer. We're not like Man City or Liverpool that are challenging for titles and they need to fill these holes. We're starting from the beginning. Man United's biggest problem in the last 9 years has been filling holes with the wrong players. We need a midfielder. We've missed out on our targets. Let's get Fellaini. It's stupid. We can't make the Fellaini mistake again. We can't make the Bastian Schweinsteiger mistake again. We can't make the Falcao, the Di Maria, who's the other striker who's on Cavani. We can't make these mistakes again and again and again. So go into the market and speak to Ten Hag. Who's on the list? Who is fit? Who can we sign? If you can't get them, you reserve the money. My concern is more than not at some point giving him that money. Glazers taking it for themselves. All that sorts out. Selling Ronaldo, that 26 million pound we save for his wages, that's our dividends next year. That's my concern, more so than filling the hole this summer, because there's going to be holes. And if we've got a hole in Ronaldo's position, but we fix a different hole with the money from him, we're still in the same position. So I'm not panicking because we were always going to have holes at the end of this window. And I think what rivals have tried to do very cleverly is try and make Man United fans believe, and some have fallen for it. The meltdowns are mad. Like we were going to fix every issue at the club in and out, in the boardroom, on the training ground, on the football pitch in one summer with a new regime and a new team running the club. Nobody else's rebuild was expected to be that quick. No one was demanding in the first summer of Jurgen Klopp, they've got to go win the Premier League now. So why should Ten Hag have to face that same pressure? It's a nonsense. It's being created by rivals and fungus Man United fans that just want to be negative online. It's a nonsense. Time and patience is needed here, 110%. Not to improve, not to get better, and not to have high standards of getting back to the top. But look where we were last year. All of you lot have said, barring Mina, because you've not been on shows, worst Man United team of all time. So why do we have to go from being that to having every problem fixed in one summer? It's nonsensical to think that.
No, you see, for me, I really believe that the best thing for United is to sell Ronaldo, because once you sell Ronaldo, you give Ten Hag the freedom to really execute his game plan and how he wants the team to play. Cristiano being there, it's like a cloud just hanging over you. Like, well, he's there. We have to play for him and so forth. Once he just goes, it just frees everyone. So that's the one aspect I think they should sell him. My issue is, where the hell does this guy go? Again, with all due respect and so forth, I know he's done everything, Champions Leagues, 0 goals in World Cup knockouts, and so forth. Who the hell in their right mind is buying a 37, 38-year-old geriatric?
Your man.
Listen, we're called Chelsea. We're not called NHS, man.
Colin, put down the crack pipe.
We've already got Thiago Silva. We don't need another 40-year-old on the books.
Your man's buying him straight.
Chelsea not going for Ronaldo.
We've got some super chats here I want to do. That wig is crazy, HH. Emmanuel.
It's not a wig drip. It's not a wig.
It's not a wig. Great game on Dust 2, mate. I don't know what the hell that means. You should be the standard player along with an AWP.
He followed up with something else afterwards to say that was a mistake.
Okay. Oh, he said it was on the wrong stream. I think he said it was on the wrong. I read that one. Chike here says, I've lost more pounds for a total of 27 pounds lost in 1 month. Are you ill? That's a lot of weight. But well done. If I can cut back on the amount of rice I eat, I can easily get down to my goal weight. Also, Terry, have you thought of going on the challenge reality show? Nah, not. I don't know what that is, bro. What is it? Send me a link and I'll have a little look. But I don't really do things like that because you know what it is? I don't do reality. I think reality TV should be banned from television. And secondly, I'm not a celebrity. So yeah, I couldn't do anything. But thank you. Sorry, previous super chat was for another channel. How dare you watch somebody else while we're on? I can't be asked if Ronaldo leaves as long as we get De Jong. I have low hopes. Low hopes. I thought it was talking about you for a second there. Sorry. Bowley isn't doing transfers. He's stuck with the draft.
Shut up.
Because in the draft,
actually, you know what? Speaking of Bowley, I actually want to say one thing about him because, like, I respect how he's coming to the club and he sort of brought his own people and people have moved on that weren't really getting along with him. But I do think alongside like him getting his feet under the desk, I feel like he spread himself a bit too thin because we need a lot of work. So putting that all on his shoulders and then doing incomings, outgoings, general club admin, plus he's got another franchise in America that he's running as well. I feel like that's contributed a lot to how slow we've been at the transfer market. If we had a proper team in that was literally on only our transfers, I feel like we'd be moving a lot quicker because I hear news of us putting an offer in and 4 days later, I checked Fabrizio's tweets and nothing's happened. So I feel like, and I'm hearing Bodie's, he's in London, he's in America, he's with Mendes in Portugal. So I feel like he has spread himself a little too thin, which is probably unavoidable because you can't really get a team in that quickly that you think will be good enough. But I think that's contributed a lot to how slow we've moved in the transfer market.
I hear you on that. Also, the reason why he wants to get out of Manchester United is because he wants to play Champions League football. United are also in a real rebuild stage and he doesn't want to be part of that. And I also get that. Why does he want to? I actually respect Ronaldo. If he just said, look, guys, I just don't want to be part of a rebuild. I'm 37. I've got no time. It actually makes sense. A beg what's with have hopes hair. Looking good, isn't it? I want him. We are a better team and we link with better players. Igal always crying. He's got redneck blues.
Poor Igal, man. Igal, stop crying, man.
Hassan here says, are you crazy? I'll take Ronaldo any day. Stop the disrespect. The GOAT at Chelsea is a dream. I'll be the first to buy the shirt.
Man, shut up.
And that's why Todd's buying him, and that's why.
Well, there is
it's such an American move, though. Like, oh, you see a really big name, a nice shiny toy.
See, do you see why I miss Bram? This is why I miss Bram. Bram would never, man.
Yeah, Bram wouldn't do this. Bowley sees it as marketing. And he's like, we're going on a tour of America. If we have Ronaldo, then we're going to sell loads more shirts. And
right. Right. Exactly what you said. Or maybe you articulated it in the beautifulest way possible. That's what I said the other day. And I was getting so much stick from David and Chelsea fans alike. So it just goes to show when you come in and you sack up all these people and you're humming and awing throughout the whole transfer window, it does wear thin on one individual. And for him to do this in his first job in football,
a big job he's taken on.
Yeah.
Honestly, but then again, you've got to listen to the pros here. Listen to what Ben Jacobs said earlier on today about the feedback clubs have given Chelsea and Todd Bowley. They love his direct, quick, no-nonsense approach. They're like, clubs get more annoyed at what Arsenal and Man United do. Drag stuff on for ages, interest are high, then they're cool. Todd comes in and goes, boom, I want to do it now. Give us your answer by the end of next week. Like, what's going to happen with the Rafinha situation is very easy. Leeds are setting a deadline for Barca, and Chelsea are going to set a deadline to Rafinha. And if Rafinha doesn't give them the answer they want in a certain time, they move on. Leeds have come back and said to Chelsea, that's perfect. If Chelsea just said, we'll keep it open for the whole summer, it's going to drag. And the selling clubs don't like to drag when they want to sell a player. So there's listen, it's all going to come out in the wash with who people land. But Chelsea have already landed one of the best attackers in Europe in Raheem Sterling. They're looking at a good goal scorer, Ronaldo. If they don't get him, they'll buy somebody else through the door. They'll get a very good alternative to Rafinha if they don't land him. And I still think Rafinha is a big possibility. Like, Chelsea are going to sign some good players. They really, really are. Speaking of good players Chelsea could sign, we are moving this on to the next transfer rumor that's gone around today. I want to break this down a little bit. So, of course, it's come out today that Chelsea are going to move heaven and earth. They're going to hijack the Frenkie de Jong deal, according to Gerard Romero. There's talk of a £60 million bid plus players being offered in the other direction to get this deal done. But there has been some breaking news since we've been on the air that I was holding back. Now, this has come from a very credible source who has stated that Frenkie de Jong's agent is in London to meet with Manchester United. Chelsea want him, but the player prefers to go to Old Trafford and play again with Erik ten Hag. It all kind of feeds into the same. Firstly, people keep acting like Man United haven't been talking about personal terms for 2 months. I'm sorry, but you fucking wankers. I've got to say it. Anyone who thinks you've gone this far about doing that, honestly,
no, sorry,
you're an embarrassment. Your dad should have pulled out. But
whoa,
Fabrizio Romano said that personal terms.
Fabrizio Romano is reporting what is being told, but what the journalist tells you, and then using intuition is two different things. To think that I've said this the other day, to think that Erik ten Hag, who knows Frenkie de Jong personally, a manager who's very intelligent, just look what him and his family do outside of football. They're not stupid people. Do you think he'd go this deep into a transfer just for the player at the end of it to go, why have you done that, Erik? I told you I didn't want to join. It's nonsensical. I don't care what the journalists say. They're just reporting what they're being told. For me, and I'll tell you why De Jong's doing it, because De Jong wants that money. He doesn't want to be flirting with leaving. So I'm just saying, I think it's nonsensical to think that Man United don't believe he would join. Equally, the same journalist, Romero, that had broke the news that Chelsea are coming in, is the same guy that first told us that Erik ten Hag had convinced De Jong United was a place to come to should the deal get done with Barca. So it's funny how we pick and choose when we want to listen to people. But on De Jong, hijacked by Chelsea, what are our thoughts on that?
Yes. I need this player at the bridge. This is a transfer I am fully on board with. Like, get me that A1 seat on the plane. I'm on board with this one. I'm a massive fan of him. I think he's a fabulous footballer. And I think it'd fit our system like a glove. I personally rate Jorginho. A lot of people don't.
I don't rate him.
I don't really care too tough. Like, that's your opinion. This is my opinion. I think he's good. But also, I think De Jong can also take his place in terms of playing the deepest midfielder in our pivot. I think he can play alongside him in our 3-4-3. I think he can play alongside him in a 4-3-3 with him, Georgie, and Cover. Like, I think it's a fantastic move. And even his play style, like, he loves to drop deep to receive the ball. As he said himself, he likes to be the first player to receive the ball off the defenders. That's what Jorginho does, so he could fit into that role like a glove. I think defensively, he's good enough. He's not an elite defender like a Casemiro or a Fabinho or any of those DMs. But I always say the best way to defend is to keep the ball. So if you're really good at keeping the ball, you don't have much defending work to do. So if De Jong's good at that and Cover's good at that, then we might not even have to face that many situations where, like, we have to drop deep and be putting in tackles and hard graft. And even then, like, if you're a really elite team, you don't really drop deep. You counter press, get the ball back, and carry on with what you're doing. And I think De Jong would help us a lot in that, just because his ability on the ball, he's creative as well. He's a great passer. He's intelligent. He's got so many things that would fit into the system like a glove. Unlike Ronaldo, he's 25. He's approaching his prime years now, where we're going to see the best of him. Because at Barcelona, like, he's been good, but we expected a bit more after he left Ajax. Considering, I'm pretty sure did he win Golden Boy or he?
No,
I think
he didn't win Golden Boy.
Oh, he didn't win Golden Boy, but yeah, he had a lot of hype at Ajax, and we thought he was going to just plow on at Barcelona, and he hasn't really done that. So I think if we can get him for 60, 65 million with a few add-ons, get him to the bridge. I'll book some papers.
So are you saying him and Cover or him and Kante in the double pivot?
Georgie, Kante, Cover, De Jong, whatever Tuchel wants, pick two. I don't mind.
No, okay, see, for me personally, again, I know people have views on Jorginho. I want Jorginho out of that freaking club, man. The guy's trash.
Disagree strongly.
No, I'm not. Again, look, it's not my opinion. It's a scientific fact. You know, I speak in facts.
Okay, it's not a fact.
It's a fact that Jorginho needs to give back that UEFA Player Award because he stole that. That guy, he's a fraud.
The one that journalists, coaches, and everyone else
he won that because he rode on the bandwagon and on the back of Kante and Barella and so forth for the Euros. He didn't deserve that. The guy's a fraud. But fair enough.
So he got bandwagoned of Kante in the Champions League. He bandwagoned on Barella and Locatelli and Verratti at the Euros. So if he was in both those two teams and they won the biggest trophies possible to them last summer, does it not sort of bear the coincidence that maybe he's the guy holding it all together?
No, he wasn't. He was just a side chick to Kante, a side chick to Barella, and so forth. Please don't feed into this crap that Chelsea fans trying to make this guy better than he really is. He's average, and he has cost us several games. But look, that's to one
Jorginho
side.
is a good midfielder. I'm not hearing this average stuff, man.
Frodinho. So putting Frodinho to one side. Frenkie de Jong, look, here's the thing. I mean, if you pair him with a Kovacic, it's good. It's good. Like, for me, I don't rate Frenkie that highly. He's a good player. He ain't world class, he ain't amazing, but he's a good player, and he would definitely be a key improvement. But the key thing, with what Barca fans say, you've got to play him in a double pivot. So the key thing is, who do you pair him with? And I think that there's no point in having him and Jorginho there. There's no point. I'd say either him and Kante or him and Kovacic.
I don't even want Kante starting, but if I speak on that, they'll attack me. So let me not say too much.
Don't you dare respect Gola, man. Don't you dare respect Gola, man. Please. Low-K.
Listen, if a suitable offer comes in...
What? Excuse me, what?
I don't think Kante suits our football anymore,
You'd sell Kante?
Yeah. I'll say with a straight face, I'll sell Kante.
You think Kante's past his best?
I think he's injury prone, he's past his best, he doesn't offer us enough in possession. Like, he's a great ball winner.
So,
he's a great ball winner.
So you'd sell Kante, but you'd keep
Yes, 100%.
Jorginho.
I think that's a smart decision.
You're mad.
I'm not mad, bro.
You're
I'm
mad.
spot on.
You're
spot on. I'm never mad in this game.
You're mad.
Sell Kante, keep Jorginho, and
that's disgusting. That is a filthy, disgusting comment. After everything, Kante's the kind of guy.
I don't even want to slander Kante because I love him, but it's time to move him on, man.
But not Jorginho. So keep Jorginho. Wait, what the hell does Jorginho offer Chelsea? Please tell me. What the hell does this clown offer Chelsea?
He's great in possession. Okay, you know what? He offers everything. He offers everything a DM wants, apart from a lack of athleticism. I'll tell you that.
I want to ask Mina about this. Obviously, there's two. I mean, Twitter has gone mental. They're like, Terry, your two latest posts contradict themselves. Yes, they're from two different journalists. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't call that dumb people, but of course they're contradictory when they're not from me. It's only a contradiction if I'm making both statements. I'm not. And equally, Chelsea could be prepared to submit a bid for the player, but the player picks Man United. I don't actually see how that's. I'm sorry. Anyone that's confused, I'm sorry. I also quoted the sources. I'm very sorry if you're confused. I don't know what to say. I feel like being rude to people tonight, and I can't help it. But some of the responses are weird. Everyone's saying they're confused. What are you confused about? I've quoted the fucking journalist, you melt. Read the fucking tweet. I'm sorry. I shouldn't get annoyed. It's literally like someone's... Anyway, I digress. It's not okay. These people are allowed to have children, bro. They're allowed to breed. It's crazy. Mina, from your point of view, are you worried about Chelsea coming in, or are you more concerned about actually getting the deal done with Barcelona?
Yeah, I'm not worried. Firstly, watching two Chelsea fans go at it actually made my ears hurt for a second. It actually made, but I like it. Chelsea fans in the mud, I like it. In terms of the De Jong transfer, I just want to see it get over the line. And I think this goes back to Chelsea's new ownership. And it looks like they're just looking at what other clubs are doing and just picking out players that other clubs are going
Not
for.
true.
I said
that's fake news, man.
Key part that I said, it looks like. Key part, yeah. It looks like
that's you. I will pay for your Specsavers appointment. Thank
you very much. And you're the guy that said that you'd sell Kante but keep Jorginho. And
yeah, that's what a good club would do this summer.
Anyways, it looks like Chelsea's ownership might just be looking and picking what other clubs are doing. Am I worried? No, because at the end of the day, I think De Jong might go with the safer option and go for to be reunited with Ten Hag over Champions League football. I said
no, come on, don't do that. Don't do that.
I said he might go.
No, there's no might. No. UCL football and Chelsea over Daddy. Okay, see, here's my thing. When you leave home, when you leave Daddy and so forth, you don't come back home. So Daddy he grew up and everything. Daddy said, go out into the world, be something, be a lawyer, be a doctor, be a scientist, discover miles, discover. When you now come back home at 30, you're like, wait a minute. I sent you out to live in the world. So him going back to Daddy, he's going back to his house, into his freaking bedroom that he's been in since he was 5 years old. Chelsea, that's NASA. That's the UN. That is him increasing his life. Please tell me, how do you reject...
I would have told you if you let me finish what I was going to say. I said he might go for the safer option. Is that the smart option? No, because he should want to play in the Champions League, especially if he wants to go to the World Cup with Holland. Is it the smart option? No. Will he go for the safer option? He might. At the end of the day, I just want this saga to be done with so that United can move forward with all their other transfers. Because when we're talking about specifically Man United, I'm not here to talk about Chelsea. I'm here to give my opinions, quite frankly, on Man United. It seems like their transfer windows and their big transfer window signings are being held up with this Frenkie de Jong saga. Are Barcelona planning some sort of, hijack with Rafinha, and if for payback they end up giving de Jong to Chelsea? I don't know. It could happen. But to answer your question, Terry, I hope he ends up going with the safer option, but he should go with the better option.
Tell Amina though, if it does turn out to be a possible scenario where you have de Jong and Ronaldo, just say they both end up going to Chelsea.
Yeah, I was going to say, United are idiots if they let Chelsea hijack the de Jong deal and then go on to sell Ronaldo. Man United and the board are idiots for that, and I wanted to start with that point.
Ronaldo isn't coming to Chelsea, just to let you know.
Well, listen, that could certainly happen. Do you know what I find really intriguing? I've just realised what's triggered people online is because we shared a tweet sharing Romero's news, which was very much the player preferred the Chelsea option, that Chelsea were going to bid. And of course, a different journalist said he prefers Man United. Don't shoot the messenger. It's not on me. One guy's like, why do you make this stuff up? Speak to the verified journalist. Anyway, all these things could happen. Chelsea could sign Ronaldo. Chelsea could land de Jong. There is no fast and set rule. I've already spoken on Ronaldo. If he goes Chelsea, I'll be a little bit annoyed as a Man United fan. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a year. It's not the end of the world. De Jong's a different kettle of fish because I disagree with anybody that states that he wouldn't sign for Man United if Barcelona and Man United get to a deal. But my fear all summer has been if another Champions League club with a better squad and a better manager, and Chelsea are that right now, Tuchel is more proven at the elite level, come in and make a serious bid. I slightly disagree with the news that he prefers the Manchester United option. I think if Chelsea come in and make a serious offer, paying the same type of money that United or Barca are offering, I think he picks Chelsea every single day of the week. And he isn't listen, I like Jorginho. I think de Jong's an even better version of him, as it were, and especially if he's played in his primary position. Man United's board cannot allow this to happen. This is where I will be a little bit negative towards Man United. I haven't been for the majority of the summer. They have to close this off now. It's okay when you're the only horse in the race to sort of sit there and waste, not waste, but it doesn't matter if it protrudes for another week or two because no one else is coming in. Now it changes and you have to bid. Now it changes and you might have to succumb to some of Barcelona's demands and pay some extra, the fees in the way they want. Because United need to get this over the line because if Chelsea become very serious, if they close off the lit next week, Sterling's done, Ake's done, and then they go, right, we're going to improve the midfield and they see £56 million it's going to cost to bring in Frenkie de Jong, that's a no-brainer for a team like Chelsea. So, yeah, Man United have got to act 110% now, and get this done over the line because this is frustrating because the players there to get had. I've said all along, I don't believe this nonsense that he doesn't want to join United. I do agree that he might ideally like to stay at Barca, but as a lot of the Barca sources have said, if Barcelona decide to sell him, he's very unlikely to stay. When players want to go or clubs want to sell you, invariably, is there a resolution where a player stays? It very rarely happens. Not with star players. Normally, like Ronaldo at United, they want to go. The club goes, we'd like to keep him, but you don't want a disgruntled player and vice versa in this situation. But Chelsea are going to be dangerous for Man United in this situation. They really are.
No, I think for Frenkie, the pull for him to United, I think, is Ten Hag. I've worked with him before and so forth. But beyond that, I don't think United is a desirable place to go to in 2022. And the fact that they're in the Europa League as well, Frank is like, Europa League, they're in a rebuild. These guys have won nothing in 6 years. Do I really want to leave Barca to go to this place? So I think that's the tough thing because I don't think he's excited to join Man United. The only thing pulling him there is, okay, I know Ten Hag, but is that enough?
He doesn't even have any teammates there, like Dutch teammates apart from Donny, but
Van Gaal saw to that. He was like, if you want to play in my team, you got to get out of United.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't quite say that. It was more, you got to
well, I don't know.
I love how that's been twisted. I mean, do you feel this a lot as a United fan? Like, the news gets, what LVG said was you have to be playing regular first team football. Not you. If you play for Man United, you're not in the squad. Like, I just
think because he's the ex-manager left on bad terms. So I think that's how it comes over. I think that's how it's come across.
Yeah, I get that, but he didn't say join Man United and you're not going to the World Cup. He said if you're not playing, I'm annoyed at Timber because I can't believe a player doesn't fancy themselves of getting in front of Maguire. Like, I don't understand. How can you not rate yourself that much? It's crazy, Timber, but maybe he's a bit young. Do you know what I mean? He's a little bit young in that regard, but it's certainly going to be interesting. I mean, it's the news coming out that he might pick Man United over Chelsea has triggered some people to a point where I had about 10 responses saying, ha, nonsense, Man United in London. How does that work? Man United have offices in London where the majority of their boards sit most of the time. So, yeah, United have offices in London. So, yeah, relax. They do a lot of their work in London. I thought everybody knew that, but maybe they didn't. Maybe they hadn't seen the news before. Super chat here says, Cristiano Ronaldo leaving is good for medium to long term. So tell what precedent Man United setting the players, I don't know what that means, without winning a mentality leaving, but the cap staying. So again, what you're doing is a very good challenge, but the challenge is too broad. You are right. There's people at the club that need to go still. There have been terrible precedents that have been set. But one of the biggest mistakes the club has made, firstly, you're not going to fix them all in one summer. Impossible. It's going to take time to resolve all those issues. Igal, you pretty much believe that Arteta has fixed a lot of the cultural issues at the club, right?
He's changed the culture, yes.
Pretty much, yeah, cool. Okay, so yes, you're right. I'm not trying to catch you up. I'm not asking, did he do it in the first year? Was it all resolved in the first year?
No, you had to get out a lot of the players that had that bad culture.
Precisely. So it's going to take a little bit of time. The second element is this, though, Nabil. So what you negate in this situation is a lot of the toxicity at Man United started because we kept players at the club that didn't want to be here. Right the way back to Sergio Romero. You had the same situation with Lingard and Dean Henderson last year, Eric Bailly. When you keep players against their will, which is why I said earlier, when players decide they want to go, invariably they're allowed to go because they become more of a problem when they're kept. So we have to fix these issues. We have to improve the mentality. You're not going to do that by keeping people at the club that don't want to be here. And whether you're Ronaldo, whether you're Bruno, or whether you're Scott McTominay, if you want to go, let them go. And bring people in that want to be part of the team and not this childhood obsession, this burning desire to be a Man United player. Just somebody that on a professional level says, I fancy giving that a go and I want to be there. That's what United need to aim for, Nabil, you know, and you're not going to fix all these problems in one go. I kind of know where you've got that notion from as well, by the way, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. But comment here says, the way Jorginho stands overrate him is shameless. If you watch, you know it's time.
I'm not even a Jorginho stan. I just know football, man.
Okay.
Don't be a stan. Don't be a Jorginho stan.
I'm not. I don't stand anyone, bro. I stand winning.
And he's a loser. That's the thing. So how can he stand winning when the guy's a loser? Like,
how's he a loser? He was at the base of
because he sacrificed. He's been responsible for several goals that Chelsea have conceded. The guy can't run.
So what did it cost us? Did it cost us the FA Cup final? No. Did it cost us the League Cup final?
No. Yeah, that was Mount. Yeah.
Exactly. So this whole he's a loser, I'm not trying to hear.
So, but how can you still rate a guy like Jorginho? How can you?
Bro,
how can you look at what
Chelsea
did in that UCL
I understand
run?
the game.
Jorginho is a divisive character.
It really is. Oh, you just see the war in some of the group chats.
I don't think he's divisive. People are divisive about him. Like Jorginho just plays his game, didn't he?
Yeah, he plays his football. It's just his style,
which is limited. Yeah, limited.
And so very beneficial.
Viewers, we're just under 1,000 likes. Remember, 2,200 likes, and I will gift 40 memberships. If we hit 1,600, I'll do 20. 1,600, I'll do 20. 2,200, I'll gift out. How many? 40. I said 40. I will give out to you live on the air. But yeah, the De Jong situation feels like it's really going to heat up soon. I mean, there's so many scenarios to this as well, isn't there? Like, this could be Barca pushing the Chelsea news hard. It's come from Barca sources to force Man United along, as an example. That's one thing. It could also be very, very true. Chelsea could come in and take him away. But I have to admit, even though United are involved, I saw someone say a minute ago, would you cry if Frenkie, CR7 and de Ligt join Chelsea? A little bit. But I also love the transfer window in the race. This is the best part of the transfer window. It's absolutely amazing. I love the quote-unquote contradictory reports. They're so fun. Bro, the guy in the bottom left is vexing me. So about you, Raider boy. You need to... vexing me. You need so much protection around Jorginho to succeed. I've lost my train of thought now. To succeed, we have conceded too many goals through him. He needs new glasses.
Thank you. Facts.
Okay,
Facts.
firstly, my
Armando.
prescription's on point, so I don't need new glasses.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Secondly, you know what? I even hear the protection bit. Like he does need protection because of the lack of athleticism, as
This is
does Thiago
trash.
Silva on our back line, and that's why Tuchel plays 3-4-3 to accommodate those two. However, why is Jorginho at fault for our attackers unable to convert chances, unable to create quality chances, unable to make the right decisions in the final third? Why is that all put on Jorginho?
Isn't
Why
Jorginho
do the people
supposed to
think that
create? Wait,
buying
isn't
Declan
he a
Rice
deep-lying
suddenly
playmaker?
unlocks the maximum potential out of Ziyech and
Quick
Havertz and Mount
question.
and Pulisic and Werner, who have stunk up the gap, maybe except for Mount, who have stunk up the gap the past 24 months? Why did that? It's a DM's fault. It's not making sense to me.
Because he doesn't contribute to the freaking team, and the guy is a
Oh
detriment.
my
I've
God.
seen more mistakes from this clown than anything else.
I
Don't
wouldn't even
believe
deny
those
this
clown
mistake.
Chelsea
No.
fans that protect the dude, man.
Kante is washed, 100%.
No,
Okay.
he's not.
Wow.
No, he's not.
The moment he didn't turn up against Real Madrid, I knew he was washed. I said it. If Kante is still
Injury
that guy,
tax,
he'll
injury tax,
turn
injury
up against
tax.
Real Madrid, and he stunk up the first leg, cost us in the second leg. I said I knew he was washed. It's okay to be washed, man. He's given us good service. It's time to move him on, man.
But keep Jorginho. Keep Jorginho.
Yeah.
Still counts. Yeah.
See,
And
Kante's
still Gallagher too.
Kante's suffering with the same issue, like the opposite to a player that lacks physicality. Players that lack physicality can go on longer because they never had it. Teddy Sheringham's a great example. When your whole game is based on covering ground, you do tend to burn. Wayne Rooney was a bit like that. He was a worker, burnt out. Like I think you burn out sometimes a little bit sooner. Ryan here says, question to the two Chelsea fans. Would Callum Hudson-Odoi be good at Newcastle, assuming these rumours are true? Is he a better left wing or right wing? Big up.
You can go first, Seb.
First of all, I don't think Cho is joining Newcastle, so I don't know where you got those rumors from. Maybe from some guy on the road. But if we're going to buy into the rumors, no, of course he would be. Like, I mean, the talent is there. The fact that Bayern Munich tried to go in for him twice shows you that the guy is a talent. You'd probably say because he's a right-footed left wing, it makes much more sense so that he can attack better, so come in on his right and play as an inside forward, so left wing would work a lot better. So yeah, he'd be a good signing, but I mean those rumors now are not true. I doubt it. But yeah, but if Newcastle were to get him and played him left wing as an inside forward, it would be an upgrade.
Do any of you on the panel still rate Hudson-Odoi, or is he Newcastle or lower level really? Because he doesn't score really, doesn't assist, can't get in the team at Chelsea. Like, is he really?
Can I listen before they go? Because about Hudson-Odoi, I think he's equally good on both flanks, but he's lacking a key trait to play on either flank because his shooting's not good enough to play on the left wing. But also, a right-footed right winger, I've always said it, you need a burst. You need to be an Adama. You need to be a Sane. If you want your foot to be the same as your wing, you need to have that burst. And it's part of the reason why I don't really see a future for Sancho as a right winger. I think he's much better on the left. You guys can disagree, cool. But I think in terms of Hudson-Odoi, on the left wing, his shooting's not good enough. Because like I hear it, he can be a wide playmaker where you cut inside and create. But like in the current game, wide forwards need to be bagging, and his shooting's not good enough to bag. But on the right wing, does he have the burst to use his right foot and like a bit like Sterling does on the right? So yeah, but I think he would be good at Newcastle. But yeah, he needs first team football and really to find where he's.
I hear you on that. I've got to interject really quickly. Some more breaking news that's just been shared in relation to Barcelona. It says just in, Chelsea's owners have arrived in Barcelona. That's been shared by Rishad Rahman. I'm not too familiar with who the source is, but it's being quoted now that Chelsea are in Barcelona tonight. Now, that could be to do with Frenkie de Jong. It, of course, could also be to do with Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso that have been long-term targets of Barcelona as well. So we'll full disclosure on that, but that's now being reported as they have arrived. Todd Bowley, he's been on his world tour. He's now in Barcelona.
He's been jetting everywhere, man.
Doing his business.
Todd B, man. Todd B's cooking, man.
Just very quickly, I want to ask rivals, Colleen, Callum Hudson-Odoi, is he as good as the hype suggested a couple of years ago?
No, I don't even know what the hype's about, to be honest with
Hater.
you.
If you don't watch him, it's okay, man.
You literally just spent about like 2 minutes going on as to why you don't think he's good enough. I'm not
No,
saying
I just said he's lacking a key trait to play on either wing. That doesn't mean he's not good enough.
so he's lacking a key trait to play on either wing.
He ain't good enough.
Therefore, he's not
No,
good
because like, as in, he did. I said he's not good enough. His shooting's not good enough to play on the left. That
But he's
doesn't
not
mean
good enough.
that.
He's not good enough.
No.
But you
His
just
shooting's
said
not good
he's not
enough.
good enough.
Colleen, listen to me. His shooting's not good enough. I didn't say he's not good enough. His
And you-
shooting. You can still be a creative player from the left. You can be a wide playmaker. He's just
Shooting's
not a
good
batsman
enough.
from the
He
left
doesn't have the burst of pace according to you as well. So
to play on the right.
So I don't see what this. I don't see what this. I don't see the hype.
Listen, it's that
I really
Achilles
can't
injury,
vote for
man.
but
That ruptured Achilles killed him, man.
Stop, man. You're capping. You just said a minute ago when you're playing these positions, you got a bag, but then you said he's shooting ain't good enough to bag, but then you're saying he's still good enough. I don't get it, bro. You're
I don't need to
confused.
speak well. He's told the story for me. I think he's.
I'm just
said it.
reiterating that.
Yeah,
Come on,
like-
Roy.
honestly,
Roy, you done yourself, bro. You done yourself, mate.
Let's just carry on with the show, man.
Let's be honest. If he goes to a team like Newcastle and he doesn't absolutely smash it over there, he's never gonna have a chance to make it.
100%.
Chelsea, and they're gonna have to just sell him anyway.
Would you take him at Arsenal, Igal? Would you take him at Arsenal?
No,
Why not?
because we currently have better youngsters than him.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, Saka is a level or so above, a level or two above Hudson-Odoi now. Fabrizio has just also tweeted about. So this is what he said: the meeting between Todd Boehly and Barcelona board is for Cesar Azpilicueta and Alonso. Other topics are scheduled in the coming hours. So other topics. So clearly they're talking about Frenkie de Jong. Or it's a very good way of Fabrizio just saying that. Because he might go, I weren't nothing to do with that. Like he kept it open, but he's saying that other topics are scheduled. Could this be when Chelsea make their pounce and their move?
Todd B, man. Todd B is
de Jong.
coming, man.
Listen, it could happen. Can you imagine? Listen, I think I'd definitely cry on that one there. Let's go back to some more of these super chats that have come in. Have Hope should change his name to Be Negative.
Shut up, man.
Too negative, bro, man.
Fair enough.
I'm a realist.
Yes, I agree. These problems will not be fixed in 1 year. The right thing to do would be to sell Maguire to make a statement and give the captaincy to CR7. But there's no point giving the captaincy to a man who's going to leave in a year. Again, still, I get Maguire. It's short-term thinking still. Like, you're still thinking about this one season ahead. Man United are going to be here in 2 year, 3 year, 4 years time. It's not the season. It's not the final season of Game of Thrones where you want it to end your way. Like, you have to think bigger than that, my friend. But thank you for the super chat. Terry, why do rivals in the media write off Arsenal and United for next season? Both clubs can be a problem next season, but it doesn't fit the narrative. What are you saying, Mina? Do you think people are writing Man United off, or do you think it's right to be skeptical about the way they're operating right now?
I think we can be skeptical, but I can't answer that until I see the transfer window close and see what United end up doing in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Obviously, with the De Jong saga, my theory is, or my hope is that if Chelsea end up hijacking it, I hope United just move on quickly and go for other targets. We can go for other midfielders. We can go for Ibrahim Sangara. We can go for Ismail Benacer from AC Milan. So there's other players that we could target as a replacement, even though we spent 2.5 months trying to lure De Jong to United. I'll come back to that when transfer window closes.
I get that. And Gal, from your point of view, you're in a very different situation. Why are people still writing off Arsenal, the business that you're doing, in your opinion?
Arsenal tax. I'm just used to it every time. We're always written off. I take it. We take it on the shoulder. It's like a chip on our shoulder. We just keep moving. This is what we've had to deal with. People don't rate Mikel Arteta. People don't rate some of our players in their team, and people don't rate the fact that we still have a very young team. Although I have seen some people give us praise, majority of people still writing us off for next season, and that might have to do with the back end of this season or last season, how we ended it.
It was really funny.
I hear you on that. Just the footage here to show you. This is the footage that's been shared of Todd Boehly arriving in Barcelona. Like, this isn't just some media spec. This is the truth. I've not been Barcelona, but that's the airport, according to it. It's definitely Todd Boehly, though. It's definitely Todd Boehly, as we can all see there. He is there ready to try and do a bit of bizzo for Chelsea Football Club. We are going to come back to the other super chats a little bit later. One of the other big stories that's been circulating today, there was a report from an Italian outlet, and someone said earlier, you can't take an Italian outlet seriously when they're talking about an Argentinian player going from a Dutch club to the Premier League. But it was a Turkish outlet that broke the news that Nuno was sacked and Conte was going to be replacing him. So you can't always say it like that. But there's two bits of news that today that have come out that Lisandro Martinez will be completing his move to United in the coming hours. I personally think that's a little bit premature. They talk about Anthony being outpriced, but of course, Arsenal are not going away. They're still fighting hard. There's a lot of talk that Lisandro Martinez is really happy with the conversations that he's had with Mikel Arteta. How do you see this going, Colin? It feels like this is really coming close to its conclusion now. How do you see this one going?
I mean, I think you're right in terms of there's obviously been some kind of conversation that's positive from an Arsenal perspective for Arsenal to still be in the mix, because otherwise Arsenal would have walked away. That's realistic. Honestly, I've got my gut's telling me probably will go United. I think it might come down to we're looking more for left back, you're looking more for centre back, right? The whole Ten Hag connection. It really depends on where he's getting sold on the project, position, manager. I think he ends up going to United, but I would kind of question, I would like to know what kind of conversations was going on, because if I'm thinking that from someone who's completely not involved, Arsenal must obviously be hearing something a bit more positive than how I'm reading it from the outside, for them to still be sticking to their guns and pursuing Martinez, because I would probably sway more United, even considering everything. So I want to know what those kind of conversations are that are going on, to be honest with you.
For me, Terry, I just think United have already done the groundwork speaking to Ajax about Timber, and the moment that the Timber thing ended, you just turned your attentions quite easily. You already had the relationship, the negotiations already started with the Timber deal, and you just ongoing with Lisandro deal. And at that point, the moment you guys turn your focus from Frenkie de Jong to Lisandro Martinez, I just felt like that was it. Arsenal didn't really have too much of a chance because of all the factors that you guys have. And if we are ever to get Lisandro Martinez, you would need to turn your attentions elsewhere and completely move away from him, in my opinion.
Another target lost. I hear it, Egal.
It's whatever. I don't really care.
Egal, you do care. Egal, you do
He
care.
definitely cares.
You
No,
do care. It
because
bothers
at the end of the day, how many times do clubs move on from players, but you just hear, oh, we haven't bid or we haven't done this.
But
we haven't
Egal,
done
you were
that. The
twerking for
difference is-
Lisandro Martinez. He said he was with a done.
You're
deal.
licking
It
his
didn't
shoes,
happen.
bro.
Yeah. Egal, it's
Okay.
fine. It's we get it. We get it. Failure is part of
okay.
growing up. Failure is growth. Failure is growth.
Okay, you guys
There's always
keep doing your
alternatives.
thing. You guys are bidding for everybody, so it's like, how many players are you gonna really get?
Wait. Relax. We're the legitimate UCL champs. Know your place. Know your place.
Are you a Real Madrid fan?
Seb,
What?
oh no, bro. Oh, come on, man. Pattern up,
Are you a
man.
Real Madrid fan? What are you talking about? Legitimate.
I hope you didn't call me Seb, by the way.
Sebi.
Stevie boy.
Relax.
Repeat that again. What
Relax.
did you mean by that? Legitimate UCL champs. Did I hear that correctly? Did we hear that correctly, guys?
I heard that. That's what I heard.
Hang on,
What do you mean by that? Elaborate.
They've won it twice.
No. He means they're currently the legitimate UCL holder.
I don't recognize a team who doesn't win the UCL without the away goal rule being in effect. The away goal rule needs to be in effect. So until a team wins it with the away goal rule in effect, we are still the legitimate UCL champions, man. So Egal needs to have some respect. But wait, what happened in 06? Like UCL final, when your Bombers club got to the UCL final in 06, what
Can we
happened?
kick him out?
What happened?
Can we kick him out?
What happened?
Can we kick him out?
Okay, I get it.
But we'll move this.
We'll
We'll
move
move
the
this.
one-on-one.
Actually, Colin is a PSG fan, by the way. Colin, aren't you a PSG fan?
Back him.
Like we obviously spoke about De Jong and getting it over the line. Like that could be a deal that for a number of reasons falls through Man United's fingers and they need to move on to another target. But the players that are at Ajax that we're looking at, especially the Sandro Martinez, it will be a bad look, won't it, for Man United if they can't land him over Arsenal with all the connections and everything else.
Of course, I think. Oh no, go on. I don't want to interrupt you. Go. Who's going to speak? Someone was about to speak.
No, I'm on to you, Minnie. You speak.
Oh,
Go
okay,
for it.
cool. Just making sure. Yeah, it would look bad given the fact that I think with next season, United and Arsenal pretty much have something similar to offer. We don't have Champions League football to offer either club, so you would expect the pool to come in this way. But again, with the transfer window, if we don't get our targets, I just hope that we move quickly enough to land other people. Lisandro Martinez, he's quality. He's not tall. He's like 5'9", but he has effective aerial ability. He can jump. He can play out from the back effectively and efficiently, which is what we need. He could come in and replace Maguire? Would I like to see him and Varane in a central partnership, maybe in a free? I'm not too sure, but we could also then it gives us space to kind of get rid of Maguire, bring someone else in next summer. I think Simakan from RB Leipzig would be a great shout. If we get rid of Maguire, we could play with them three in a back three. So the key to this transfer window is, if we don't get our targets, is move quickly and move effectively for the best targets that are out there as replacements.
No, it's for me. It would be very difficult if Lisandro Martinez goes for Arsenal over Man U, because again, the links, it's so much. First of all, I just think like both of them don't have Champions League football, so you don't have that. United, especially with Ten Hag, Ten Hag is the key thing. Do you want to play for Ten Hag, or you want to play for Pep's water boy? You want to play for Ten Hag? Colin, relax, mute your mic, relax, mute your mic. So it's either Pep's water boy, or you want to play for Ten Hag. And so it would be shocking if Arsenal get him over. I just think he's going to United. I think I'll be shocked if he doesn't end up at United. It's the dots connect too well for United as opposed to Arsenal.
Unless like Arteta does the maddest persuasion job on him, I don't see how he goes to Arsenal. Ten Hag literally knows him. He was managing him last year. Like, yeah, it just seems that he's inevitably going to go to United.
It's inevitable.
We also have to look at which position they're going to be playing him at. If he's signing United to play as a left back, midfielder, or centre back,
he would join to play as a centre back. We just signed him.
Ten Hag knows how to use him anyway.
I don't even think Arsenal are signing him to be a left back or a midfielder. I've said it all. I mean, that might change in the next few days.
I think they'll sign him to be a left back.
No, but he's not going to be starting.
But do you know why I don't think? Again, I disagree. I tell you why I disagree. He's seen as an Arsenal priority. First and foremost, you're not walking away from this. That's not a backup. If it was a backup left back that you're not worried about, you wouldn't be about to get into a bidding war with Man United. This is a serious first-team player trying to buy. He hasn't played at left back for a couple of years. So when a man's been scouting him at left back, I know, like, obviously, not all left backs. You know, he will not be a marauding left back like a Robertson or a Trent or Cancelo, a fullback. I mean, he's more of a defensive minded. He'd be more of the Tomiyasu type of player at fullback. I just honestly think he's gonna. It might not be the game week 1. I think he's gonna be. If Arsenal get him, he'll become one of your main centre backs. He's better than Gabriel, without shadow. And that's not a dig at Gabriel, but you're just. I think he's better than Gabriel. I think he's much better than Gabriel.
You know what? I haven't watched him enough to say he's better than Gabriel or not better than Gabriel. But personally, for me, what I think is he's an individual player that can take a spot on the bench, that can come in and solve 3 issues for us if we need it on the bench.
Is he going to be on your? He's a bench. Are you saying that he's a bench player? You're spending 50 million for him to sit on your bench?
You want to know
come
something?
in when necessary.
In today's market, if you're going to be spending sometimes you're going to have to spend between 25 to 40 million for bench players. So that's what we're bidding.
I just disagree. I think that I think you want him to be in your first team. That's why you're not walking away. I really do. And that's not a dig at Arsenal. I'm complimenting you for going after a very good player. You'd improve your team. He's better than Gabriel in my opinion, and Gabriel's very good. But
I think all the reports have been coming out that he's going to be utilized as a backup in the left center back position, a backup in the DM position if possible, and maybe potentially a starter in the left back position if Kieran Tierney's not available. And the reason being, he could most likely play similar to Zinchenko as an inverted left back in the areas that he'd be picking up in the pitch.
Potentially, and he might do that. It's just the more you research and look at where he's been playing and what he's been doing, it's just I just don't know when Arsenal have watched him do that. Maybe they've seen something and think he could do it. But yeah, it'll be intriguing to see. He's definitely, even then, I think he plays over Tierney. If he's going to play in that bit, he's better. You know, if you're going to use inverted wing backs, then Tierney don't play either. Like, he's better than him defensively. So, yeah, it's going to be an intriguing fight. I'm really intrigued to see how it goes. There's a super chat that came in here. There's a question for the panel. It says, have Manchester United failed this window? Players back in training, pre-season close. No. Well, there has been signings. There's 2. But Man City and Liverpool lead the way. Early deals. Have Man United fouled this window, people?
No. For me,
it's
a long way to go.
There's still like 2 months left. You can't say they failed this window. That's way too premature.
It's like how guys say, "Oh my gosh, Chelsea haven't signed anybody." Bro, do you know how long there is for the transfer window to go? It's still very early days. So it's like when if the transfer window closes, that's when you assess. You can't say that you have failed when there is still so much left of the transfer window to go. And most deals get done a few days until the window closes. So you can't make that assessment now. No.
I agree.
Fair enough. You can't rebuild with enigmas. Ronaldo, like Pogba, has to go. I can expect Manchester United with the quality of their youth and the ability of Ten Hag to surprise a lot of you this year.
United ruined Pogba, man. I will never forget the
Mina definitely agrees with you on that. I think they did as well, to be fair. They've ruined everyone they've signed. What is your genuine opinion on Maguire? What you saying, Mina, on Maguire and this liking and all the nonsense he created yesterday?
Yeah, I think that's a toxic move, the whole liking the Instagram post. In terms of as a player, I don't want him at United, but one thing that rubbed me the wrong way is when he came out and said, oh, you know, if I wasn't a good player, then I wouldn't be selected all the time for Man United and I wouldn't be selected all the time for England. Maguire at England is a completely different player than Maguire at Man United. Is there better defenders out there in the world? Yes, there is better defenders. Would United go for them after spending 80 million on an English-bred player? I doubt it. Would I like to see him go? Absolutely. But as far as he's in the club and I don't want to sit here and bash the players non-stop. But I'm not a fan of Maguire. Never have been.
Did the panel think it was a accident, or was this him having a pop at Cristiano Ronaldo?
It wasn't an accident, man. It takes two taps to like, man.
Eddie Patterson over here for sure.
I don't think he's smart enough to just do it as a thing, like to mess around. I think he literally just did it, not even thinking about the consequences.
Yeah, he just wasn't thinking.
The guy must be stupid. The guy must be really stupid.
He is stupid, but that's what I said in my video this morning. I said
He must have thought he was on his burner account.
Maybe, but I think also with all the pressure we're under and the way the media is bigging everything up, this is where you need your captain to be smart and read the room. And that's to your point, Mina. He doesn't know when to read the room. Like that whole, I am definitely a good player because I always get picked. Well, we don't want you always getting picked. Don't say that. Like sometimes just keep your mouth shut, keep your head down, work hard. The irony in it is that training video that came out, everyone was laughing at Man United. The only player actually being praised in that session was actually Harry Maguire, which made me laugh. But it was a little bit ironic, really. But I thought what he did was so stupid. That's it. I don't think it was malicious. I think it was stupid. And when you think about how he plays football, it's Harry Maguire, isn't it? He's just a little bit like the dumb. Like, he reminds me of Lenny from Mice and Men. I don't know why. He reminds me of Lenny from Mice and Men. Do you know what I mean? Hey,
well, Harry, just right now, how many of these like bad eggs or people who have that are bad in the dressing room do you think are going to leave this window for United?
So again, I don't think Maguire's a bad egg. I think he's stupid. There's a real difference. I think I said about Marcus Rashford before. I think he leaks things, but people that actually go, "Oh, well, you think he leaks all the bad stuff?" No, he leaks stuff in terms of they're all being bad, but I'm being a really good boy. You know, like that grass at school when the class was naughty, but you had the one little good boy. Go, "It wasn't me, miss. It was all of them." That's what he does. It's not toxic, but that's got to stop as well. There's lots of different issues in the dressing room where everyone's got to be on the same wavelength, and I think a lot of the so-called toxic players with the individuals, I think toxic's the wrong word. The Lingards and the Bays and the Hendersons that wanted to play or leave, but were just sat there rotting, not playing. I think they were a big problem, but I actually understand why they felt the way they did. So a lot of them have already gone, as an example. I think Pogba, with the constant speculation whether he's going to stay or go, that's a distraction you just don't need, you know. And it wasn't Pogba's fault. We should have sold him 4 years ago when he didn't want to be here, or renewed his contract 2 years ago when he wanted to stay, but instead the club didn't do anything. Like, do you get where I'm coming from? So it's not so much that our players are nasty, wicked, cruel. It's just we create an environment that's like a playground. And that for me is what needs to be resolved more than most things. Super Chat here says, guy lower left needs moderated, talks over everyone.
Hey, stop hating on my guy Roy, man. Stop being a hater, man.
Roy's cool.
Yeah, man, leave Roy alone.
Dybala could be similar to Tadic under Erik ten Hag.
I see that.
Typical United fan.
No, Dybala is tricky. He's not been relevant since 2017, man. But still,
what are you saying, Mina? Would you take him?
He won Serie A MVP like 2 seasons ago.
I wouldn't take him. I wouldn't take him. I would actually take.
You wouldn't take him?
I would take Arnett Danjuma.
Over Dutton.
And that's a hot shout. But the reason why I'm saying I'd take Arnett Danjuma, he's got a 40 million release clause. He can play on the left. He can play through the middle. I think he bagged like 16 goals, 4 assists for Villarreal last season. Villarreal ain't in Champions League next season, so that's another thing that we kind of can, like, we have in mutual thing. Because if Chelsea came in for Arnaud Danjuma, I think he would definitely go. He'd definitely go somewhere there because of Champions League football. He was linked to West Ham recently, and I'm going to come to the topic of Antony because I know United's linked to Antony. He's not been the most prolific goal scorer in the Dutch league, but it might be a wild shout, but I would take Arnaud Danjuma and actually Mehdi Taremi from FC Porto for around 100 million between them, rather than spending 80 million on Antony.
Antony's really expensively priced from Ajax. Like, I don't see how they think that's a feasible price for him.
Yeah, I don't think 80 million. I think they've overvalued him in the hopes
100%.
that United's management structure will dish out the money.
You know what? It's the Premier League tax, but
it's not the Premier League tax. It's the United tax. It's the United tax.
It's look, Ajax, Lisandro Martinez situation. Just look at that. They sold their best goal scorer last season for like how much? 18 mil to a Bundesliga team. It's mad. But Terry, I was gonna ask you, Dybala, how are you gonna spin this one into because it's literally a Cavani signing or one of those kind of signings all over again. A stopgap.
Let's respect Dybala, man.
Whoa, how are you comparing Dybala to Cavani? Relax.
It's a stopgap.
Hang on, one second. Go back to what do you mean spin?
No, because this is a stopgap. So
yeah, okay. So go back. What do you mean? How am I going to spin this? Explain what you mean by me spinning it.
Because you're a United fan, you're going to find the positive in this. So I want to know what's the positive.
Why would you? Hang on, I'm not even going to answer the question. You're acting like I don't call my club out when I'm not happy with things they do.
No, that's not what I said. You're almost like you're.
You just said I'm definitely going to spin it into a positive. Why would I do that?
Because you found a way to spin a lot of things into a positive lately. So
no, if I think something's a positive, I'll tell you it's a positive. If I think something's negative, I'll tell you it's a negative. Like I've just said about Man United, like ruining players and bad environments they create, and Maguire doing something wrong. You know, Man United need to hurry up and act on De Jong because we can't lose out. It's wrong. It's bad for the manager. They're all negative things.
So what about Dybala?
I'm not answering the question because of your rude and supporting an accusation.
Oh, okay, Terry. That's what
we answer.
I'm just winding you up. It's a good try. I just, you know, it wasn't Gal. It's like a little subtle.
No, you're the one triggered here, bro. It's okay. Keep it moving.
Am I
relax?
Do you know what I mean? Listen.
Why are you dancing for him, bro? Stop it. Anyways, Terry, you're gonna answer.
Dancer, by the way.
I'll answer it. Like I said, you obviously watch. I don't know, you might not watch my streams. I spoke about it the other day. It's a deal that I don't like the sound of. One, cost. Secondly, as in how much he'd cost on salary and wages. His injury record worries the living daylights out of me. Said that on stream the other day. And I just don't know how committed he would be to Manchester United, or is he more committed to getting paid? So it's a deal that I think we should swerve and avoid. What I did say, you know, you'll probably call this spin, but this is just looking at it from the other side, is if there's a change, if there's a different attitude from him this time from when we spoke to him 3 years ago, and Ten Hag believes in him, then it's something that I would sit back and go, okay, well, let's see how that works out. But it's a bit like with Maguire. I would like the manager to sell Maguire. It isn't my personal choice. He's done it. I accepted that as his decision. But yeah, Dybala isn't a player that I like. When I read the news, I wasn't like, oh, wow, this could be great. It's not. It's just almost zero excitement about that as a signing from me. So there we go. There we go, me old mate. So yeah, interesting. But there we go. Do you really think I try and spin everything from Man United into a positive? Is that what you really think?
No, Terry, I do see you definitely push out the positives, but you're more balanced on your stream. But when you're on Twitter, you're literally like fighting your own.
But Igal, you do the same thing though. Igal, you do the same
thing.
So
hang on a minute. Sorry. So what am I wrong about when it comes to me challenging my fan base right now?
No one's saying anything's wrong about that.
You are because you're calling it spin. You wouldn't call it spin if you thought I was right. So what am I wrong about?
No, because there is things that you have reservations or you feel like is
of course, and I speak
and
about
you don't always mention both. Sometimes you do mention just. I can't mention.
When do I mention? Okay, but that's when I'm speaking about something positive. So when do I not mention things? So give me an example.
Okay, like Ronaldo leaving. You've mentioned a lot of the positives. I don't see you tweeting out a lot of the negatives about that potentially happening.
So you didn't see, I'm just going to read it to you. Let me just scroll down my timeline because I don't remember what I said word for word. So this is what I tweeted just a little while ago. If Chelsea take Ronaldo and De Jong from Manchester United, there will be a meltdown, and I understand why. The club has to back Ten Hag and get the business done or move on to other top targets, act like a big club.
Okay, that has nothing to do with my point, though. I was speaking about directly just Ronaldo when he was linked away. You're more or less saying this is a good thing for United. This can be a good thing for United.
Yeah, on the stream, you're saying you can be a good. But the tweet and what I said on the stream match up. What have I said on the stream? Losing Ronaldo isn't the issue, not replacing him is. My tweet stated that with the money we save from selling him, we can invest it into another player. That's not an overt positive. That's saying right that the money.
You argued with me on the other show about when I said you need more than just Anthony to replace Ronaldo's.
No,
input.
I argued with you, and I told you about the argument on that show, Gal. My argument was with your logic, not mine. You said we're gonna do bad.
No, but you agree now.
No, stop. You don't ever let people finish talking. I was arguing with your logic, as in your train of thought towards United, not what I believed. So your statements have been United are going to struggle with or without Ronaldo. So for you then to try and banter United over losing Ronaldo like it's going to damage our season makes zero sense because you said we're struggling anyway. I believe we're going to do I think we could do very, very well. If we lose Ronaldo, he does need to be replaced. I wasn't giving you my opinion. I was fighting back against your own warped logic. We can't be crap with or without Ronaldo and then be bantered for not having Ronaldo. It doesn't hit. That's my point, my friend.
Okay.
So,
Before we establish this,
let me just finish this off. You kind of call me out for spinning things into a positive around Man United. It's just an absolute nonsense. I'm calling my club out and telling them to deliver for the manager. How is that positive spin?
Terry, you could still call your club out for negatives and call them out for when they're not doing things right, but still find the light in a bad situation and constantly push that out.
But like what? Give me an example when I do that.
Like I just did, the Ronaldo situation.
I've just shown you one message that literally like something that disproves that. I put multiple comments out. I don't tweet. When I put out a tweet, I make a point about one particular subject. What do you expect me to put a thread in, giving all my thoughts on all the alternatives at the same time to give you a complete balance on every tweet? Do you do that?
Let's just move on. This is going to go.
No, I'm not moving on because at the end of the day, you sit there and say things like I spin everything into a positive. That's not even true. I call my club out as much as anybody else. I'm not going to say I do it more than other people. I'm consistently calling out the way we're run. I'm consistently calling out the bad work that we've done. I'm consistently speaking about how we've damaged players, we've ruined individuals, we've damaged rebuilds. We shouldn't even be doing another rebuild after spending £500 million on the last one. That's all a negative view. The only thing I'm being positive about this summer, is I'm not going to judge the new people running the club from Myrtle, Fletcher, Andy O'Boyle, of course, Richard Arnold allowing the football people to make football decisions for the first time in 9 years. And of course, the coaching staff and the manager. I'm not going to judge them for legacy issues created by the previous regime running it, because that's ridiculous. It's like you being on a disciplinary at work for the person they sacked before you arrived. It would never happen. I can't be angry at Ten Hag because he's handling problems created in the previous manager's era. That doesn't make sense. So I can ring fence what the new group of people are trying to do to fix the club and my overall frustration with Manchester United. We shouldn't be where we are. It's a disgrace that we're in this position after how much money that we spent. But that frustration towards the club doesn't overhang into the new people trying to solve the problem because they're completely separate of one another. Do you think that's an unfair way to think about my own club or any club?
You've gone into great detail, Terry, there. I was just making
Answer my question, because you called me out like a snide little dig on the side, which is fine. I like people to be a bit more direct.
You do that all the time. So
then a snide little dig. So my point is, answer the question. Is that not fair? Is it not fair?
You said a lot, Terry. You haven't brought it down to a yes or no question.
What's the yes? What you didn't ask me a yes or no question.
No, but you just said a lot. So do you want to clarify? Do you want to restate it maybe, and then I can address it quicker?
So me stating that I'm not going to judge Erik ten Hag and the new people running the club. I'm not going to judge them based on the previous people's mistakes. Is that fair?
That's fully fair, but that has nothing to do with my original point.
It has everything to do with your original point, because I'm talking about how we can take the bad situations that are created and get the best out of them. That isn't me spinning it into a positive.
That is the definition of spinning it into a positive.
No, that's not spin. That's because a new group have got to resolve the problem. I'm not going to be angry at the new group. It isn't their problem. They're fixing it.
Okay, fair. I just view it differently to what you view it. I view it as you highlighting the positive.
What I would rather you do if you come on here is challenge my opinion rather than put a little snide dig in, and then not really have anything to back it up.
It's the same thing, Terry.
I have an explanation.
I don't have snide digs, Igal. I'll ask you a direct question about something you've said or done.
Okay, I interpret it the same.
No. Basically, this is my explanation to it. This is what I think. I feel, and this is just me using my logic here. I just feel that last season, when Igal boldly stated that Arsenal will finish top 4, and we all clowned him when Arsenal finished top 4, we're now seeing PTSD. and we're now seeing that Igal's passive aggressiveness and PTSD is being projected out to other people. So Terry, don't take it personally. I think he's just suffering from PTSD. So Igal, it is what it is. Seek help.
No, listen, it's all good. But
What? Seek help like I'm sick. What are you talking about, bro?
I said seek help. I've got a number. I'll give you a number. Seek help.
Okay, now you've taken it too far.
no, listen, I don't mind being called out. I encourage it, but like, how am I going to spin it into a positive? It's clearly like an underlying issue you've got with the way I tweet and the opinions I have on United. I'd rather you just be a man and call me out.
It just triggered you, Terry. It's fine. This is what we do.
It triggered me because you're someone that I call a friend and you give me a snide dig. That's why it's triggering. And I'm not going to lie, it's triggering, but it's because you didn't ask me. I'm like a man to stand up and say, why are you doing this, Terry? I've seen you say this. What do you mean by it? You put a little snide dig in there. And why have you got to put snide digs in?
You're a United fan. You're a United fan. I'm an Arsenal fan. They're Chelsea fans. You're going to always try to find the positive in things. But when you're on stream,
but the thing is, you're discrediting me here. To sit there and act like you've been on how many streams with me, and act like I always talk positively about Manchester United is an abomination of an opinion because you know that's not true. I don't do that. I mean, every single one of you, barring Mina, is sat in a room with me where I've been quite disparaging about my football club. So to sit there and say I turn everything into a positive is just a lie.
Tielemans update, anyone? Tielemans, any update?
What a player. I can't wait to see him in an Arsenal shirt.
He's all right. Tielemans all right.
Party, Tielemans, Odegaard, cooking at the Emirates. Arteta's got something for us, man.
Yeah,
no, he's all right. Tielemans is all right, man. He's all right.
Like, will he take the number 8 off Odegaard? Who knows, man? Like, we know he likes that number. Odegaard could maybe move to a different one. Who knows, man? But I think, Tielemans, world-class midfielder, Belgium's best midfielder.
World-class? No, relax. Not world-class.
Okay.
He's good.
Now we've redirected. I'll be realistic. I think he's a good signing for Arsenal. I think he's a good player. I think, again, like, he could be a bit more athletic, but technically he's sound. Defensively, he gets stuck in. Like, he's pretty creative for a deep
shooting. Very good. Very good at shooting long shots.
Yeah. I saw that in the FA Cup final. So, I think he's got a lot of things to offer Arsenal. I don't really think there's any potential downside to it, apart from the price that Leicester are asking for, which I don't know what that is.
I'm skeptical over it, to be honest with you, because
Why?
if he's got a year left, not over him as a player, but the whole scenario surrounding Tielemans, Arsenal have been talking to him for about a year, allegedly, right? So he is a free transfer next season if he doesn't extend his contract this summer, right? And Leicester have tried to do that. It's not happening. I feel like we could have got this wrapped up a little while ago because it's not new news. It's kind of been going on for a little bit, and something in my gut is just telling me that something's not right there in terms of from an Arsenal perspective. Maybe it's my own PTSD of being an Arsenal fan in the transfer window, but I just feel like this could have got wrapped up a bit quicker. I think.
Have faith in Arteta, Colin. You need to have faith in your club and Arteta to do so.
View
the glass half full.
Right,
half full.
I should have faith.
I think this Tielemans deal is going to happen, and at this moment in time,
why do you think it's so slow, Agal?
I think the reason why we're doing it so slowly is because no one else has really come in to force our hand to make us go quicker in this transfer. If there was other clubs seriously looking into him, speaking to his agent, then he had like rumors of this team coming after him about to bid, then we maybe would have to move a little bit quicker. But at this moment in time, it's in Leicester's hand to try to get less, try to give them less money, try to get a better deal. That's honestly all I think it is. And I do think Tielemans is one of our main targets, and he has been this whole time as reported. And if we shift away from him, I'd want to know what changed, because you don't go after a player for a whole year and then just last minute not go for him anymore. That's kind of strange.
I think he fits really well into the system as well.
It's like with this rumor, Man United might have a loose interest. I think
they have been interested since 2019. I think they've been monitoring.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
It could be a backup for De Jong if that falls through.
It could be. I just get more of a feeling this is Tielemans' people trying to force Arsenal along a little bit by saying, if another team, because Arsenal's sort of press release was, we're going to call on Tielemans because he's ours, he's a guarantee. We can come back to him later. So if you make Arsenal feel like somebody else is coming in, there could be a problem. But I think Arsenal just got to be careful, like all clubs in this scenario, because if they end up missing out on Rafinha and Sandro Martinez and then something mad happened and they missed out on Tielemans, that's a problem because they're your priority targets. And yes, you could go for other people, but then you're going at number 2s, number 3s down the line. But equally the same as Man United. If we miss out on De Jong and Lissandro, like we're in a bit of bother this summer because we've missed out on our main targets. And anyone you do bring in is going to be secondary. And that will make fans more nervous going into the campaign. And it's going to happen to a few of us because a lot of our clubs have got this like sort of interwoven kind of transfer window at the minute. We're all looking at one or two of the same players as each other. Yeah, it's an interesting one. We've got some super chats here. This from Redneck that says all players get injured. Sorry, Gal, you say something?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to head off, Terry. It's 7:30.
Oh yeah, no worries, mate. Take care, mate. Take care. All the best. All players get injured around Jennifer, but not him. Why? They do their job, and that they call
it's a slander name for Jorginho, just a really terrible one.
I don't get it, but I just let him say it. Like it's. Oh no, I know why he says it. He says it. This is his logic because he plays in the pivot. Jennifer Anderson went out with Ross in Friends, and the pivot thing. I think that's the connection. I think that's the connection.
Friends is overrated, man. Friends is
terrible show. Not fun.
Horrible.
You lot are all too young to find it funny. Youngsters don't find that show funny. It's kind of weird. Terry, I'm not sick.
Sebby Young. Sorry. Sebby Young. Come on, tell.
My name is Half Hope. Relax.
But have hopes that. Have you guys ever seen that video clip of Kevin Hart where he's like, people nowadays just want to be negative about everything? That's Have Hope. If everybody says something's great, Have Hope comes in and goes, it's ass. It's like, why?
No, I'm a realist. People are I'm a realist. I'm here for the truth. I'm the truth teller, the truth messenger, man.
There we go.
Today.
Thank you, Chike. Dybala could be similar to Tadic. I don't know. I don't think so. Why is that Chelsea man using a wig? It's because it's Have Hope.
How about you spell that better?
Pedro here says Bowley currently in Barca to discuss the De Jong deal. Well, that's not been confirmed, and I'm holding on to that one. If it is, honestly,
Sotheby's cooking, Terry, man. Sotheby's cooking, Matthijs.
I'm gonna cry. Dybala isn't the same player from 2 years ago, but a change in manager could get him back to the best out of him.
100%. I don't get the Dybala disrespect, man.
The quality, he's the quality.
Do you know what I think a lot of it is though? I'm worried about his injury record, not the fact.
Yeah, it's not good looking.
Like you guys, like Chelsea fans aren't happy about Sterling because he's not fashionable anymore. If you guys it's weird. Like I can't believe Chelsea fans aren't psyched and excited about this. It's sort of like,
come on, it's not an exciting. It's a good transfer, but it isn't like if you give me Neymar, I'll be doing cartwheels.
I'm jumping out of my chair.
Yeah, Neymar.
To be fair, Terry, the explanation you making for United could be the same with Arsenal, but Arsenal fans who say the same thing get called deluded. Then call me deluded. Like, my point is, call me deluded and don't have sideways digs. Like, that's all it is. Like, if you think what I'm saying is you lot in the comments do it all the time. Half the comments say I'm deluded. I mean, you all turn back up again every day. I don't know if you mean it, but that's all I was saying. I don't mind my opinions being challenged. And these guys will tell you, especially Colin, who's been like, I openly say, please do it. Makes the shows more fun. Igal, called out for months, has led to a change in his own personality. This fella has lost the man he used to be. Igal was just, listen, I've seen a difference.
PTSD.
No, I don't know if it's PTSD. Igal was just trying to be, I don't know. What I love about Igal does this for a while and then he releases himself back out into the wild again. I love Igal. He's a good guy. He's worth the challenge. But because I respect him, I'll also call him out if I'm not happy with something he says. That's what being a man is about. Like some of the people are saying, so I'm not going to put some of those comments up if you're having an absolute dig at Igal because we ain't about that. Big news, Nadal has withdrawn from Wimbledon. Does that mean the guy he beat yesterday goes back in? I don't know. No.
It means the guy who's going to play goes through to the final.
Nadal is overrated.
That means the Brit's gone through, didn't it?
No.
he's playing Kyrgios.
That's on the other side of the draw.
So Kyrgios is in the final now.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Which will beat him. I'm confident.
Yeah, I think he will. But we've got a Brit in there. Well, I think he's South African, but he represents England now. So I'll take that. I'll take it. He's a Brit now. He's got that flag. That's all I care about. Listen, I love the show, people. Mina, absolute pleasure to have you on as ever.
Pleasure's mine. Pleasure's mine always.
Thank you. Have hope. Colleen, Roy the boy. Of course, the gal was already gone. Until next time, my people, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless.